What's the sexiest moment you've seen by accident? I was in English class in my junior year of high school. A girl I had a crush on had shown up that day in a flowy skirt. I don't know what to call it, so it comes time to grab some papers off of a table and she offers to grab mine for me. Wonderful, how sweet of her. Well, she jumps up to grab them and bends over the table, me being the only one in view as everyone else was gathered around the table, and her skirt slash dress slash girl clothes thing IDK flies up and leaves her, but just hanging out in view of only me and my teacher. My teacher and I then proceed to have the most curious eye contact I've ever shared with an individual. TL. Doctor, the butt was fat. Think how awkward it is for the teacher though. He's there thinking, oh crap, there's this student's butt right there. What the freak do I do? Crap, I've looked at a freaking high schooler's butt. Oh god, Rare and Rourke is here too. He knows, freak. I better look at him instead. Okay, am I right here? Looking at me too. Don't look away. Don't look at the butt. Crap. God dang it. Just stay calm and try not to look too freaked out. Holy crap balls, this is awkward. Okay, it's over. Well, I guess she's getting an A this semester. Edit. My most upvoted post is about a teacher thinking about a high school girl's butt. Seriously? I was a young 13-year-old boy at home with my 18-year-old sister. Her and her smoking hot friend, who I'd already had many a dream about, were getting ready to go out for the night, to party or whatever. I was in my room and decided to go to the kitchen for a drink. As I pass my sister's room, the door wide open, I see my sister's friend wearing nothing but a bright blue thong, bent over turned away from me. I only looked for a second, or risk being exposed, but a second was all I needed. I still hold that image very close. Back before VHS totally died out, my old roommate borrowed his dad's video camera. He played the tape in the camera, and it was mostly footage of chickens. His dad owned a small farm. For a split second, there was a middle-aged woman ramming herself with a dildo on screen, and then immediately back to chickens. My roommate paused for a moment, and then said, well, that was my dad's girlfriend. I guess his dad took some NSFW footage and taped over most of it with chickens, but missed a second or two of footage. So he tried to cover up one schlang with another schlang. I was at New Smyrna Beach in Florida and had finished a day of swimming and drinking with my buddies, and we headed to the public showers for a rinse. There was a group of guys and girls who looked to be about 20 years old who were waiting in line in front of us. During the course of scrubbing and rubbing, this one girl's boob pops out of her bikini. It was a big, beautiful boob. My friends and I don't say a word. After a few seconds, the girl sees her male friend gawking, looks down, and in a panic, puts her bikini back into place. And the guy says to her, sorry, it was just staring at me, so I stared back. That smooth motherfreaker. When I was about 11, riding my bike on the path through the ravine, I came up on a couple having sex in the long grass a short way over from the path. They didn't hear or see me, and I crouched down and watched for what seemed like a long time. Made myself a promise that when I was old enough I would come back and have that same experience myself in the very same spot. Did so some years later. Bucket list down by one. Edit. I'm much too old for this to have been borrowed from Pokemon. Promise. But I love the idea of it being paid forward through generations. Myself, my girlfriend, and a handful of work colleagues were eating dinner at a Thai restaurant in San Francisco, and right in mid-conversation the guy sitting near the head of the table stood straight up and goes, holy crap, those people are freaking. Sure enough, in the upstairs window of the apartment building across the street was some seriously vicious freaking happening. Like, girl on top, hand smeared against the glass, that backed up constipated facial expression of pressure, like she's learning crap from the Matrix for the first time. Absolutely no doubt about what was going on. Full view. The rest of dinner then became a heckler's theater of commentating the sex like sports broadcasters, which was loud enough to ultimately alert neighboring tables. Before long, most of the restaurant and wait staff was crowded around the front windows just staring in wonderment. Pizza delivery driver here, delivering a couple of pizzas to a house in the hills. Walk up to what I thought was the front door, was actually a side door. I hear folks running down from upstairs. One gorgeous completely naked brunette comes bobbing down the stairs. turns toward the open window I was looking in, sees me, stops, squeaks, then run out of view. Then a completely naked blonde comes bobbing down the stairs after her, turns the other direction, and runs into the living room. Finally, a naked man comes sauntering down the stairs, comes to the side door, and without word about anything, by this point was clear I saw the whole scene, calmly pays for his pizza, tips well, then goes back inside. Suavest, motherfreaker, ever. For a second you definitely thought it was about to happen. Don't deny it. Pizza delivery guys and naked women go together like peanut butter and jelly. Middle school summers spent at Wet n Wild Water Park just lounging about at the bottom of the rocket water slide. I wasn't there by accident. Every 3 minutes everyone gets a show. Edit, the one in Orlando, Florida on International Drive. Can confirm. Also had a season pass to a local water park. Those slides were designed to turn every bottom into a G-string via forced wedgie and remove as many tops as possible. Was copying movies off a female friend's computer. I think she forgot that she put her masturbation clip, which was obviously meant for her military boyfriend, in the same folder. I worked as a painter. My company was painting a new gym. The gym was entirely closed, but the staff still worked out and swam in the pool. So, to my surprise, female staff members would walk up next to me, alone in the change room, painting a wall, and get naked, change their clothes, use the shower. I'm standing there, taking forever to paint a wall. No crap, this actually happened. Edit, can't believe I'm actually defending my story to strangers, but I was painting a lengthy change room with high ceilings. I wasn't painting the walls of a shower. The naked chicks were at their lockers, and didn't even cover with a towel knowing I was there. It was pretty awesome, and I was sad to only be in there a few days. The workout room was a distant second as far as wall painting goes. My house is semi-detached, and on one side we have a window that directly faces our neighbors. Neither of our families close the blinds, so we can see directly into each other's hallways 24/7. I often walk past the window in a towel or I'm past naked if I need to get a piece of clothing from another room. One of the girls who lives there, who always seems to be heavily pregnant, walks past the window naked often. She looks like a fertility goddess. You should just stand there in towel one day and wait. When you two meet eyes, you let your towel drop. Around 13 years old, swimming in a wave pool. For some reason that day I had a pair of goggles. I was right at the point where the waves start to break and dove under. About 10 feet to my side I see a gorgeous teen girl a few years my senior turn her back to the incoming wave. As it broke over her, the force of it caused the front of her bikini bottoms to flare out like a parachute, giving me my first glorious view of a bush in the flesh. Spent the next 2 minutes glued to that spot, only coming up for quick gulps of air. That moment became the centerpiece of my young spank bank for some time. And that's how you learned to not breathe for 17 minutes underwater. Installing a garage door. Had to walk through the house to get to my truck outside. Banged on the door for a few minutes, opened it and called inside for the homie Arwana, attractive 30 something, no answer still, so I just decided to walk through real quick. Turn the corner, and she is bent over drying off her legs in the doorway of her room. She had just gotten out of the shower. I just was like sorry and turned around. I just stood in the garage for a few minutes before I could go back and knock on the door. Any day you see chest at work is a great day. Just to provide a little balance in this thread, when I was a teenager, my family stayed in Berlin for a few months for my stepdad's work. The first day in our new flat, I walk into what is going to be my room to see my mom frantically trying to put up curtains. When she sees me in the doorway, she jumps back looking incredibly guilty. I tell her she doesn't need to put up the curtains, that I would be happy to do it, and after resisting, she just sighs and throws up her hands, saying, "Oh well, I guess there's nothing to be done for it. There's a naked man across the way." And with that she walks out, utterly defeated. The awkward teenage girl that I was, I hesitate for a few moments before creeping up to the window and opening the curtains, trying to look as nonchalant as possible. Sure enough, in the building next door, there is this gorgeous, perfectly fit man just walking around his flat completely nude. Now, this is the first adult man I have ever seen naked in person, and I'm completely transfixed, forgetting to be subtle. After a seeming eternity, he looks up, sees me, and flashes me this huge smile. My heart drops into my stomach and I imagine I turned bright red before dropping to the floor, out of sight. My poor hormone-laden body could hardly handle the excitement. This sounds incredibly freaking creepy, but after that I would regularly look across into his flat and was gratified to find out that he basically was always naked whenever he was home. I don't speak a touch of German, so those months in Berlin were a bit lonely, but dang if I didn't love living next to that guy. Edit. I can't stop laughing, imagining teenage me as Tina Belcher, and I'm happy to have inspired some of you to exercise, though you are all lovely as is 3 group hug. When I was in college, I walked in on my ex and her best friend comparing their breasts in front of the mirror. They still had their bras on, but I thought it was still really sexy. My cute young female neighbor many years ago walked into her living room naked at night with the blinds open. I was on my back porch and had a great view of her very sexy bod. Her boyfriend was fully clothed on the couch, so I thought she may be going for sexy times, but instead she started doing jumping jacks. Naked. She did about a dozen, while her boyfriend laughed his butt off and then she left the room to get dressed. I was standing on the porch with the weirdest boner, thinking da fuck did I just see. I was in high school and got to physics a little early. A few other kids were there. The one cute girl was there sitting in front of me and was wearing a skirt. For no apparent reason, she lifted up the backside of her skirt and flashed me her butt. She then turned around a second later and saw me. I didn't know how to react, so I turned my head down to my desk. That image was in my spank bank all throughout high school. She was also in my English class, where we had to sit in a U-shape. She wouldn't remember to cross her legs, so a ton of people saw upskirts of her for like 40 minutes a day.